NH Unscripted, where we are doing the Neutron Dance. Yeah, it's an ugly sight. Hey, what can I say? I am your Pointer Sisters-like host, Ray Dudley. And we are coming to you from the F-Troop-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. Fire up those Sony Walkmans, baby. You know the drill. Take the cassette tape out, flip it over to the radio band, put on those junky headsets they provide with it. You can find us at 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. And yeah, we got a URL because we're cool kids. Yes, we are. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL where things happen out there. I'll explain a little bit later about that. Before we get into the meat of the show today, I do need to thank my sponsors, Lake Region Fence up in Guilford. Matt, I love you guys. Appreciate you so much for all you do for us sponsoring this show. Okay, look. Father's Day's coming up. Graduation Day's coming up. My wife's birthday's coming up. You know what that means? Time to spend some money. Take a look at that dilapidated thing, that World War II veteran-type fence you got out there that's rusting away, that's falling down. You got to build something new around your pool. You got to do a fence line. Come on, get with it. Break down, you cheap son of a gun. Get out there and buy a new fence. Go out to lrfence.com. lrfence.com. That's the URL for Lakes Region Fence. Get it? lrfence.com. There are reams and reams and reams and reams and gigabytes of pictures out there where you can find something that's going to suit you, that's going to put a glint in your spouse's eye that you've broken down and finally been cheap and done. Never mind. Just go out there. There's also a button where you can get a free estimate. Matt will be happy. Yes, just like Ren and Stimpy. Happy to go out and give you a free estimate on a fence. Do it, my friend. Do it. Father's Day, come on, really. You see this? I'm almost crying. I'm just bringing it to you. It's real here. All right, lrfence.com. We love them. Hey, we got a show to do. Wednesday, when this one will finally air. Wednesday, we started talking about the play festival put on by Powerhouse Theater up in Laconia, Prescott Farms. And so we're going to continue with that today. In studio with me is Mr. Gary Locke. Good morning, sir.
Yo, hello, Ray.
And Mr. Chuck Fray. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Ray. Glad to be here.
You both suit different purposes here today. Serve different purposes. Let's talk about, before we get to the festival, let's talk about you guys in general. I haven't seen either of you for quite a while. I mean, Chuck, what have you been doing? My God.
I've been working mostly with the Powerhouse Theater Collaborative doing sound work, finding sound effects for them. I'm about ready to start working on a sound design for the Crucible that they're doing in the fall.
Yeah? What is it? Anything in particular for that you need?
No. I'm just...
Birds?
Whatever I find in this script. Birds, screaming, things blowing up, all kinds of interesting stuff like that. Yeah, so I've been mostly doing sound work lately.
The sound of witches burning?
Witches burning or hanging, as the case may be. Yeah, right.
That's a very specific sound.
That's a tough one.
That rope.
That's a tough one, yeah.
Gary, what about you, baby? I haven't seen you either for a long time.
Yeah, well, my dance card's been filling up. I'm now the president of the Hatbox Theater Association. We're trying to find a new home for Hatbox, what we're going to call Hatbox 2.0. And I will say to people that we are a nonprofit organization. So if you find Hatbox Theater Association on Facebook, whatever, if you want to give us a little extra money, anything that you got hanging out from
it's
from the
Father's
tax
Day.
It's Father's Day.
Money
Exactly.
to be spent.
That's right. So we're looking for that. And in addition to this festival that we're going to talk about, I'm also playing in Sleuth at at the Majestic Theatre in Manchester, going up on the 21st of June.
Ooh,
and
cool.
if you know that show, man, that is a mountain of lines. it's a 2-hour play, and I have 1 hour and 22 minutes and 50 seconds of dialogue.
No, I am not crying here for you, brother. Don't even push that button. That's not going to work. Why would you take something like that on?
Mainly because Greg Parker asked,
man.
and I've wanted to do that show forever, man. I actually did a scene from that when I was a senior in high school. Everybody, I'm a very young 68 years old. So that should tell you something. It's been 50 years, and I still remembered some of those lines.
Oh, boy.
That's when they're burned in.
Oh, yeah.
They're burned in.
That's when I could remember stuff.
Oh, man, I hate you. You brought that up. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me.
I can't remember what I had for dinner last night.
I'm telling you, I already forgot your name. How's it going?
Oh, great!
Going well?
It really is great. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away for people who don't know the story or whatever, but there's another fellow involved. Ian Allen.
I do.
So it's Greg Parker, Ian Allen, Gary Locke, and a lot of noise.
Man, oh man, oh man, that's quite a show, actually. Wasn't there a movie? Did they make a movie out of that?
They made two.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the one with Laurence Olivier and Michael Caine, which
Yes,
is the one I think
that's
most
the
people
one I
know.
was-
That's
yeah,
the classic.
that's me.
And then Michael Caine later played the Olivier part in a remake with, I think, Jude Law, and it was awful. I mean, it was awful.
Well,
So
okay, I saw the original not long ago, and I'll be honest with you, there were parts of it that were awful. Michael Caine coming back as the cop, am I giving it away?
you are giving it away. You really are giving it away.
Like
man.
3 old men in here. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we won't remember.
I thought, wait, you can see exactly what's going on there. What? Oh man, don't even get me. That's terrible. That's terrible. Good. When's that go up?
It goes up June 21st that weekend. So
Dude, that's right around the corner.
We have Friday night, Saturday matinee, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee. And let me tell you, I'm going to be real tired at the end of Saturday.
Yeah. Break out the adult beverage that night.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate that. That's a great show. I mean, you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's that little Majestic. That's kind of an odd theater. It's like proscenium, but
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
but real tiny.
Yeah,
Very
real tiny,
intimate.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really good. We did The Man Who Came to Dinner there, and that you fill up that stage real fast. Doesn't take much.
Yeah.
My goodness, Chuck, what else are you doing? Not just sound. Come on, you got to be doing more than that.
Well, other than the Play Festival, which has been the main focus since January.
All right, he's pushing me as a segue. We're going to have to go there. All right, so let's talk about the Play Festival. I wanted to actually talk to you both because since you both have two very different, coming at this from two very different angles. Chuck, let's start with you.
Okay.
You're an author in this one, correct?
Yes, I have written one of the plays.
And what's the name of it?
The play is called The Tutor.
So I want to talk to you specifically about why did you want to write a play for this? Why even get involved?
Well, frankly, I've been involved with it since the beginning. I mean, this is like 10 years ago, I think, at least, that Brian started running the playwriting workshops.
Yeah.
So I've written, I don't know.
Yeah, they used to do them in the park over there, didn't they, at the Belknap Mill Park?
We did them 2 years in the play. We did them a couple of years in the park. We did them 1 year in Library Park and then inside because it rained.
Yeah.
The actual concept began years ago at the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. The first
Wait, they did?
first playwriting workshop that we did, and the first festival we did was at Winnie.
I didn't know that.
Yep, we did it outside in that amphitheater area.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for a number of years. This is nothing new.
So sticking with this whole theme of writing, did you have? I don't, forgive me for struggling with this. I would not write a play only because I don't have anything that I think I want to say. So did you decide you had something you want to say, or was it just a Gentlemen, put on your dancing shoes. We have to dance ourselves out to a break. Yes, we're still neutron dancing, and yes, I'm still your Pointer Sisters like host Ray Dudley. You are listening to NH Unscripted. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. And for you beautiful people in Manchester, 101.9 FM down there, nhtalkradio.com is our URL. Gary Locke, Chuck Fray are both in the house. And we're talking business. Business, baby. We'll be right back. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Yes, you are listening to NH Unscripted. I am your happy to be out of bed host, becoming more and more Beach Boy-like as the seconds pass. My name is Ray Dudley, but you knew that. We are coming to you from the water country-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. I can see the water slide from here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. Those are both Concord based on your Sony Walkman. 101.9 FM for the gorgeous souls in Manchester. We love you folks down there. You know that. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Yeah, because it's 2024 and we got to have one. Yeah, a lot goes on out there. Tell you a little bit more about that later. Chuck, I was mining why in the world you would write, how long is your play?
It goes for about 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Why would you, first of all, why would you write a 12-minute play? What can you possibly hope to accomplish in 12 minutes?
Well, the reason that I write is my brother-in-law put it very succinctly one day when he told me I had spiders in my head. So I'm trying to get the spiders out. In 12 minutes.
Thanks for that personal touch.
Yeah, right, exactly. The beauty of a 12-minute play,
yeah,
in my opinion, it's like flash fiction. You must be very precise. You must be very concise. Every word has to have some use in the play. You can't, obviously ramble on endlessly. So you have to have a very quick characterization, a very quick lead up to the conflict, a very quick resolution, and out. It's not as easy to do as one would think. So, for example, in the play that I wrote for this festival, you immediately meet the two characters. You get their names. You know what they're doing. You know why they're there. And then they begin to work slowly towards what's bothering the two of them in order to get to the resolution.
So the concept for yours, is it something that you've been trying to get on the paper for a while, or were you like, you know what, I think I'm just going to wing it here and throw it?
This particular play, actually, to be quite honest, is autobiographical. It's set in 1967. It's two 17-year-old high school students, a boy and a girl. The girl rather, has been assigned as a tutor to the boy who's failing algebra.
That was a popular thing to fail back in 67.
It was, yes. And I was ahead of that pack. The girl is fictional. She slithered out of my head. The boy is me. And basically, I'm telling the young girl all the stupid things I did in high school. And she's sitting there.
You can do that in 12 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That would fill up volume.
I couldn't.
And she's sitting there, and her mind is her head is exploding about, why are you doing these things? Yeah, so anyway, that was the idea behind the play. I wanted to get across, my rebellious high school years, and underlying all of that is a vicious attack on the Vietnam War.
Didn't see that coming.
Which as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old high school student in 1968. As soon as I graduated, I was
Signing up, baby.
come on down. We're having a great time in Southeast Asia. Join us.
Yeah, a lot of fireworks.
So there was the two purposes that I had in my head when I sat down to write it, was to show a small slice of what it was like to be a high school student in 1967, which was pretty exciting in my mind at that time.
It was a crazy day to be
and to
alive.
deal with what this young man was thinking about and feeling and what he saw looming over him.
We could spend an hour just mining that.
Right.
Hang on to that. I did want to come back to you. Gary, let me ask you a question about what play are you directing, first of all?
I'm directing Squatch Knockers.
That one. I love that one.
And,
Every time I read it, I hear it.
oh man, I really did. I loved this
Rolls
play.
off the tongue.
It sure does. Yeah. Sure does. No, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I told Courtney Palmer, the playwright, that it reminded me an awful lot of what would have been an episode of Love American Style. Remember that show?
What? Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which was
I'm Captain Stubby.
So there would be like 2, maybe 3 little segments in each episode, and these were rom-coms, and this would have made an absolutely perfect episode of Love American Style. I could see it now.
What a brilliance. That is really excellent.
And that's the approach I took.
Yeah?
Right away.
Can you give us any information about what no spoilers, of course.
No.
We would never.
Well, let me just say. So it's a date of 2 people.
Is there a Sasquatch involved?
And they are looking for Sasquatch. Yes, they are. That's why they're there on their date. They are looking for Sasquatch, and I just had a blast. With it.
my God. Where were you guys rehearsing?
We rehearsed in a park here in Concord, but we did go to the Prescott Farm last Saturday to because I wanted to see the area and see what the sound would be like. And I'll tell you, those acoustics right there we're at the Rock.
You are. Okay.
And Harold's Rock, and I think the acoustics there are terrific. So
That's
I'm really, really pleased.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's quite the facility.
Yeah, we were there yesterday afternoon.
You were?
For a rehearsal, yeah. Courtney is actually in my play.
She is?
Yeah.
She's
over
playing the girl in my play. And my last stage direction is exit stage left, followed by a Sasquatch.
So why don't one of you give us the overview first of all of the weekend and the time frame and all that? And
You're the veteran.
All right, go ahead. Chuck.
Okay, the performances are Saturday and Sunday, first and second at Prescott Farm, as we said. The first performance on Saturday begins at 1, and there's 3 different locations, and so you would come and you would sit at one location and you would watch the plays that are being performed there, move to the second location, and then move to the third location. And then later in the afternoon, I want to say 3, but I may be wrong about that. We're going to do a second run of all the plays again in the locations, and then Sunday afternoon there'll be one run through in the afternoon.
Got you. So it's free for the public.
Yes, it is.
And they will see 14 plays. Is that right?
Yep, they can.
14, yes.
They can.
That's true. Yes,
Right.
they can. They can.
Yep.
They may not see them all in one. Yes.
Right.
Right. They couldn't see them all in one day. It's virtually impossible. So 14 written by 14 local people,
Right.
directed by 14 local people,
Yes.
and acted and performed by more than 14, but all local people.
Yes, they're very so. There's 30 or 35 actors at least.
Yeah,
And
at least.
there's a flock of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flock.
And you're one of them, Ray.
He is.
Funny you'd mention that. I am. And, memory things.
I wanted to point that out to you in case you'd forgotten. So that you know where you're supposed to be on Saturday and Sunday, Ray.
Thank you, sir.
I don't want us looking at where is Ray.
Wouldn't be a first.
What are we going to do for the old guy now?
I'm busy.
We're having a ball with ours too, but thank you for bringing that up. But we are having a lot of fun with ours. We have been trying to rehearse out there at Prescott Farm on Wednesday nights, and honestly, except for last Wednesday, it has rained every single Wednesday. We've had to have Zoom ones. We've had to postpone it to another week. It's been terrible out there, but we finally got to use the digs last week, and it was great. I agree with you, though, the acoustic, except for cars driving by.
Oh, yeah. There's also a train.
Oh, cool!
And
I did that where?
Yes, there's a Winnipesaukee train that goes to the Weirs, and let me tell you, that thing on Saturday was blasting away.
What time was that? Is it going to be during this weekend?
Almost certainly.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
Get ready
Cool.
for that.
Oh, that's going to be
Get
brutal.
ready for that.
That's going to be brutal.
Well, we don't need any sound effects then. We're good. We're good for sound
Yeah,
effects.
as long as every
That's right.
production needs a
train.
train whistle.
Well, you talk about sound effects. So one of the things I've had to do is I Google things like, what does Sasquatch sound like? My Google search engine right now, that search history is really weird. And I'm going to get all kinds of
interesting
very
stuff.
strange
Oh, yeah.
ads.
Yeah.
The algorithm's going crazy. You get on Chat GTP or GPT. What is it, Chat? Oh, for goodness sakes. Put a pin in it, gentlemen. Hoist up the John B. Sales. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to NH Unscripted. Man, these are the days that I just live for, having a ball with some friends. I am your Beach Boys-like host, Ray Dudley. And we are coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL studios. Man, it's cavernous in here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. For you folks in Manchester, 101.9 FM and NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. We're talking about the Play Festival taking place this weekend at Prescott Farm in Laconia. You better get up there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Crimson and Clover everywhere here, baby. I forget who sings that. You guys know who sings Crimson and Clover?
Tommy James and the Shondells.
There you are. Bing, bing. Oh, I love Tommy James and the Shondells. I really do. Anyway, NH Unscripted. I am your host, Ray Dudley. In studio with me today is Gary Locke and Chuck Fray. You can listen to us 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL, and I'm still not going to tell you what goes on out there yet, but I will eventually. We are talking about the Play Festival, produced, I guess, by Powerhouse Theater. Is that how you would pronounce that? Produced, yeah?
That is correct.
All right. That'll take place in Prescott Farm up in Laconia this weekend, June 1st and 2nd. Gentlemen, what do you think is the importance of something like this? There's not a lot. I mean, literally, while there is a lot going on, each play is basically 10 to 20 minutes.
Right.
You're on, you're off. What's the point to it? I mean, what do you think the writer, the actor, the director's getting out of it? And then, I mean, the audience obviously gets to see 14 free plays if they want, but what do you think why even bother?
Well, as a playwright, one of the things that is most exciting and most anxious is seeing the characters you've written come to life. You're sitting there in the audience and your heart is...
Chuck, may I remind you, yours is autobiographic. You have seen yours.
But the anxiety is, will they say the lines right?
I see.
You know, will they say the lines right? You sit there and you worry about that, and then they come out and they start, and you stop worrying. But the thing that gets me most about theater, and I think why people are involved, why I'm involved, I believe that it is one of the most collaborative of the arts. So
it definitely is.
I mean, I sit there and I spend X amount of hours writing a play by myself.
Yeah.
I submit it to the producer loves it, the producer gives it to the director. All of a sudden, it's no longer just my play. It belongs to the producer, it belongs to the director, it belongs to the cast, to the company, if there's sound design and whatever. and then suddenly it belongs to the audience on the day that the curtain goes up. So now you've got all these people that have ownership of something that you started. I think that is tremendously powerful.
Do you ever get any fear of handing it off and it being totally different than what you had originally envisioned it being?
Yeah, you do think about that. I mean, it's never really happened to me. I've written, 10 or 15 one-act plays that have been produced in various venues. There are changes. It never sounds exactly the way you want it to sound. Sometimes it doesn't sound quite the way you want it. Sometimes it's like, wow, I didn't think it was... Yeah, that's really good. I'm glad you guys did that. Yeah, so it's never exactly the same, but most of the time it's a good experience.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I have written and directed a few plays, and and I like that control because I wrote it, I know what it sounded like in my head and so on, and I work that way. But there have been a few times when I've written a play and then handed it off to another director, and I've been in them.
Ooh.
And that can be, well, I've never had a problem, but I can imagine that it would be, and I'm very fortunate that that has not happened to me. No, wait a minute, I take it back. I wrote a kids' play a lifetime ago. No, I was not a kid, but I wrote it for a middle school, and I had written. I loved it, and people loved it, but there was one moment where the director decided to make a song a duet, and that completely missed the point of the scene.
Ooh.
So I sat there. So the first time that I saw it, I was squirming in my seat. But I realized, okay, that's what he did. There's nothing I can do about it now. There you go.
Did you have a discussion with him afterwards?
I just asked why. And he simply said, I didn't have enough work for this particular singer, and I knew she would do the song really well. And I went, okay.
So you, Gary, are in the enviable position.
Easy for you to say.
Of having to take a play written by somebody else and put that writer's vision up.
Right.
How challenging is that for you from this perspective?
Well, obviously, I've directed a lot of shows, so this was not that much different, at least as far as my approach goes. I definitely wanted to respect her. This is, I believe, Courtney's first play, and therefore I wanted to make sure that she got the best out of it. I wanted her to feel really proud. Those are my words. That's my thought. And really didn't want to play around with that. Plus, it was a really funny play. Anyway, so I didn't really have to worry about it.
The title's funny enough.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
How about collaboration, though? So a lot of times we do a play and we do not have contact with the author.
Yeah.
So you both, in your capacities here, have the ability to speak with either the director or the author.
Right.
Is that helpful at this point, or would you almost prefer?
After the first read through, I don't think it's helpful at all. Because now you got to go off with the cast and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But the first time through, first of all, getting to know Courtney and talking about where it all came from and whatever, and then the read through where she gets to hear these actors say her words, and they can ask questions, and I might ask a question or two. That was nice. That was really nice, and unusual. It doesn't happen all the time. I've certainly directed plays where the playwright was around, and I've enjoyed it. But there's a point at which you got to split off.
Yeah. So do you think, how does this format, the conciseness of this, the 10 to 15 minute, that changes a lot of dynamics. How do you think this impacts, for better or worse, a production like this? Because you only have 10 minutes to do something, let's say, or 20. But
Well, that's the challenge for the playwright.
right,
Isn't it?
yeah. But you still have to be able to take that vision and put it up there in 20 minutes. I mean, so you've got actors who need to get out these emotions or this connection with each other in 10 minutes, and it can fall apart if it's not done properly as well. So do you think that the time constraint, is that a pro or a con?
I think it's a pro. I think it's an exciting form of theater. I think it's
It's like a pressure cooker, though, right? I mean, 10 minutes?
It is. I think it's fun for the audience as well, because in that span of time, that 10 to 20 minutes is really at the far end. If you've got a 20-minute play in a festival like this, it's too long.
Yeah.
But for the audience, there's this rush of emotion that happens in a very constricted span of time. So they're not sitting there for 2 hours, and there's, a pause here and a gap here and a long stretch of nothing happens here. Every second, something has to happen. Every second, an actor has to say something which is meaningful in the context of the play, or they have to make a move which is meaningful in the context of the play. So I'm watching my play last night being performed, and every time that Alex got up, there was a reason he got up. He wasn't just, wandering. Mm-hmm. He got up because of this. He sat down because of this. Courtney did this because of this. So it's all very concise and yes.
No waste, man.
There cannot be any waste. Now, for example, when I wrote the thing, I'm a vomitous writer. I mean, I sat down to write this play.
Not another picture.
yeah, right, exactly. I sat down to write this play, and I had 30 pages.
Yeah, oh.
Okay. So now I sit there, and now I've got a pair of scissors in one hand, a knife in the other, and tears are rolling down my cheeks because I'm destroying my deathless prose. But over the course of a few days, I managed to chop it down to under 8 pages. 8 pages, 12 minutes. And by the time
go ahead.
By the time we're done with that, you've got something it's so like a ball of dynamite ready to go off.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Woo, baby, we are learning things today, and we are forever in blue jeans. Yeah, I got a reference in there. Heck yeah. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I am your Neil Diamond-like host, Ray Dudley. Didn't think I'd get that in there, did you? We are coming to you from the Car 54-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. Yeah, we are. I'm Tootie Muldoon, by the way. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, Concord-based. 101.9 FM for the beautiful folks in Manchester. We love you down there. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. Yes, I'll spill my guts on what's going out there when we come back. We're talking about the Prescott Farm Play Festival. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. We're not quite Ichiku Park. See how I got that reference in there? Yeah, baby. I'm your small faces like host, though, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the water country like digs of the WKXL studio. Still splashing around in the pool is Gary Locke and Chuck Fray, and we are chatting away the hour. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord. 101.9 FM for the gorgeous souls in Manchester. God, we love you down there. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. And you may say to yourself, Ray, are you finally going to tell us? Ray, come on, spill the beans. What's going on out there? NHTalkRadio.com is where there's a button. You can listen to us live. This particular show goes on every Wednesday and Friday morning, 9 a.m., I might be proud to say. However, you can find all the archives of this, what should be an award-winning show, along with all the other things that take place here at the studio, out there. You'll find that at the on-demand button. That's nhtalkradio.com. All right, we're chatting things. We are getting into the mechanics, which is what I love about theater. There's so much to talk about. Gary. What is the challenge to an actor here? They're going to be on stage for 10 minutes.
Yep.
You might have a veteran actor. You might have a new actor, someone who's never been involved.
Right.
What is the benefit or the con to that kind of a format?
You know, a lot of actors, if they were students of theater, or if they've done loads and loads of shows, working outside is something that a lot of actors are not used to. And that's one of those things that I, as a director, because I've worked there as an actor and as a director, I like, okay, this is different, folks. And I want you to have that experience, but I want you to get ready for whatever can come up. And I remember years ago, I did a production of Taming of the Shrew, and we set it. The director set it in the Old West. So one of the actors was dressed in this black satin, like a cowboy villain outfit. Okay, and I was dressed in a red wool union suit, okay? And we chased each other around and slammed into each other. That was the direction, okay? Well, it's outside. It's in July, and it's really, 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 really hot. So when we slapped bellies, there was this tsunami of sweat that just, we created a rainbow. And you have to warn your actors, you don't know, but it's possible that you're going to be really, really hot, or maybe a bee is going to sting you, or something like that, So that's one of the concerns.
Do you think it's a good format for a veteran or a newcomer? Which one would this be better suited towards?
Well, I think that a newcomer who works outside is getting a really great experience, because then they can work anywhere under any kinds of conditions. Focus on your lines, focus on all the things that the director has told you to do. And if you can do that with all of the various distractions that inevitably will go on while you're working outside, you're going to do a whole lot better.
Yeah, we were up there last week, and there's like squirrels running around. There's black flies. There's everything.
Sasquatches. Yeah, they're all over the place.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Chuck, what do you think would be so some of them can be 10, but did they give you a basic, like they say, 10 to 20 minute, you need to write it?
Yeah, you're told that your play is going to run for 10 to 12 minutes.
Do you think 10 is too short? Or what would be like for you as an author, as a writer?
I've always felt comfortable in this format. I've always felt comfortable between 12 and 15, actually. I think that's enough time to get across what you want to say, provided that what you want to say is streamlined enough.
I mean, 8 pages is really restrictive.
It is, it's hard to do. It's a fascinating task to get. As I say, when I write, I put everything but the kitchen sink into my first draft. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the problems that first-time playwrights do is they try to write a first draft.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they try to write a final draft.
That's true.
Don't do it. Yeah. Just sit down and just vomit onto the page, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And you can take out stuff. It's easy to take out stuff. It's harder to put stuff in.
So, that would be a huge challenge to a first-time writer, right? Because you were crying just taking, what'd you say, 30 pages down to 10?
I wept.
He vomits. He weeps. He weeps. He's like a doll. Good grief.
But one of the things that I like most about this format, he mentioned first-timers, and I agree. If you're thinking about getting involved in theater, this is a good way a good way to get in.
Sure.
You get in. You only have to worry about.
That's what I like about it.
You don't have to
you
worry
only have
about
the pressure of
10 to 12
just
pages.
a few
Yeah.
pages.
Yeah.
I mean, the first show that I did, I was Jonathan Brewster in Arsenic and Old Lace. And I sat backstage and my heart was going boom, boom, boom. Am I going to walk out there and I'm not going to know what the hell I'm doing? So, a 10-minute play, you get out, even if you screw up, it's only 10 minutes, right?
I know. And it goes fast. 10 minutes, it really does. It just blows
But
through
I think it's really good for first-time people who are thinking about getting involved in community theater. This is the way to do it. If you have any sort of doubt in your mind whether you want to, it's a good way to find out.
Yeah. I know. Even if you like to do it at all, right? It'd be a great way to figure out whether you can even take the pressure.
Right.
I don't know how many people are going to be there. I don't know how many people are going to see it or whatever. But it's a heck of a lot easier than stepping out on stage to 700-800 and you freeze up.
Oh man, that night was so exciting. I walked out there on the stage and I said my first line and in my head I went, oh man, this is great. I love this. I'm going to do this again.
I remember that so well.
Oh man, that's the hook, right?
It is.
It is the hook.
Oh God, I love that.
When you wake up on stage, you've done a scene. You've probably done several pages. It doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
But when you wake up on stage and you realize I've just been somebody else.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes.
That is so well
for several minutes, and I was like, oh my Lord, what an experience!
That is so well put, man. I really try to encourage people to go see them. The audience, the radio audience. But if people really want to find out, this is really a great way. I'm glad you said that. That is a great way for people to dip their toe in. Mm-hmm. Well, how about authors, writers, or directors? Do we have first-time directors in this one?
I do not know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you do have first-time playwrights.
Yep.
And you might have some first-time actors, but I don't think you've got first-time directors. I think Brian selected from a pool of directors that he knew.
I believe that's
I've
the case.
never directed for Powerhouse Collaborative, but I grew up in Laconia. I'm a Laconia guy, and so the idea of coming back to my hometown and directing a play, even if it's only a 15-minute one, I was just cool, you know? and not a lot of effort, because I'm driving from Merrimack, New Hampshire, all the way up to Laconia and back again. But I'll do it for this kind of a thing.
I was a first-time director once. I walked out there at the first rehearsal and I was scared to death.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why? What was intimidating about it?
It's for me, it's so different from being an actor. I only have to worry about creating this one role and making sure that I'm saying the lines to the correct people. But the director is responsible for everything. The director is responsible for making me do these things. It was really, the first few rehearsals were intimidating.
Have you ever been intimidated by the quality of the actors that you are working with? I mean, have you ever gone, oh my God, I know this. I'm going to have to be on my A game here because so-and-so is a very seasoned actor, actress. And
to a degree, you'll remember Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And I mean, that cast was stupendous.
Yes.
And so I knew, I've got to be on the top of my game for that very reason.
First time I directed you in Odd Couple. I can remember Matt McGonigal saying to me, we got this really great guy coming in. I'm going, oh man, what is it, like Humphrey Bogart?
Yes.
But no, I've never felt intimidated by an actor.
Yeah, at all, huh?
No.
Someone give me the deets. What's going on this weekend? Give it to me one more time.
Powerhouse Collaborative Theater Festival at Prescott Farms on White Oaks Road in Laconia, New Hampshire.
Saturday and Sunday, June 1st and 2nd. Be there or be square.
This is Kensington. Do behave. Yes, you have been listening to NH Unscripted. I have had the privilege of being with my friends Gary Locke, Chuck Fray. We've been talking for this past hour about the Prescott Farm Play Festival this weekend. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I am Ray Dudley. So happy today to be out of bed. 1550 AM, 103.9 FM, That's Concord 101.9 FM in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. Get out and see a play this weekend. Catch you on the next one.